Foxes can swim, but they are not very good at it. They have been reported to cross small stretches of water, for example, to get from one island to another or colonize new islands that appear in their habitat. The most common explanation is that these animals simply walk into the water and start swimming across it until they reach land on the other side. There is no evidence that foxes like to swim. They do not enter the water on their own, and there are no reports of them spending time near the shoreline even when they live on an island. When it comes to crossing a body of water, foxes seem to be as uncomfortable as many other animals. They will only do these kinds of things if their life depends on it. Can Arctic foxes swim? Arctic foxes are built for cold weather, not deep water. They are typically found on the tundra or other places where there is ice and snow cover. Some Arctic foxes might swim if they had to, but they usually stick to the land. If an Arctic fox lived near a body of water, it probably wouldn't be able to swim very well. Its body is not built for swimming, so it might drown if forced into the water. The bodies of Arctic foxes are covered in thick fur that keeps them warm when they are out on the tundra or other cold areas. The Arctic fox has short legs and a long, thick tail that also keeps it warm. The end of the tail has a molted tip that can change color depending on the season. Arctic foxes have small heads with short muzzles and ears that are lined with black fur. Their legs are very short, but their feet are well adapted to walking on snow and ice. Arctic foxes have small noses that they use to smell, but their sense of hearing is very good. The fur on the underside of an Arctic fox's body is thin, so it doesn't get too hot when it is curled up in a den or burrow during the day. When it becomes cold again at night, the fox becomes active and hunts for food. Can fennec foxes swim? Fennec foxes are not very fond of swimming, but in captivity, many fennecs learn to swim. Their body is well adapted for this because they have a very dense, coarse fur consisting of long guard hairs and short underfur. The guard hairs keep the head and body dry even when diving into the water. A fennec fox is an omnivore. It eats rodents, insects, eggs, and the like. Foxes reach adulthood when they are about 7 months old. The fennec can become tame enough to be kept as a pet if it's captured at a young age and raised carefully and legally. The fennecs sleep most of the time, and you can look through their ears because they have a transparent membrane. In the wild, fennec foxes live in open countries with sparse vegetation or sandy rocky regions. In captivity, they adapt well to any type of house as long as they receive enough space for sleeping, climbing, and running around. Fennec foxes are nocturnal animals. They stay in their sleeping burrows during the day or when it's too hot. Can baby foxes swim? Did you know that baby foxes can swim? Well, they actually like to spend a good amount of time in the water. They may look pretty cute and cuddly, but if you think that you can play with them like dogs, then we must warn you that it's not at all a good idea. Baby foxes are shy and timid, and they quickly become stressed out when you come up to them with your hands. Although we know that they look like cute and cuddly pets, but in actuality, they're wild animals and not house pets. We decided to do some research on the topic, and we found out that it's not at all a good idea to get close with these young foxes because you may end up scaring them to death.